My name is Michele Morris. I'm the Associate Director of the Design Lab. For those of you who have been here, welcome back. If you haven't been here, welcome. We love being part of this campus, of the Design and Innovation Building, and certainly of this lab. It has been a great privilege to prototype the SPUR initiative on this campus. Something that hasn't been done quite in this way before, using a design lens, a human-centered design lens, alongside so many people that are experts in different roles at the university. So we are here to celebrate the work that's been done, to celebrate the effort and the patience that has gone into prototyping something, which is never easy, but it's a lot of fun. And also to really be proud of the fact that we're doing something that's going to impact our campus, and hopefully many of you directly. So without further ado, we've got limited time. I just want to say a big thank you to the Design Lab. Our director, Mai Nguyen, is at the back. Thank you, Mai. I want to say a huge thank you to our partners here. As you can see, our Executive Vice Chancellor, Elizabeth Simmons, just came in. Welcome, EDC Chief Simmons. We've got our two esteemed partners, VC Piguesa and VC Satterland, from the Office of Research and Innovation and Student Affairs, respectively, who have been just so wonderful, so invested in this project, and so invested in our campus, as many of our leadership, as all of our leadership is. So thank you for being here. This really is a celebration of the teams. So for all the team representatives, we're so happy you're here. I'm going to turn it over to my colleague Kevin Popovic to just share a little bit about where we've come, but really then the focus is going to be on you and presenting your amazing work and your ideas for how we can scale undergraduate paid research on campus. Okay, Kevin. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, everyone, and welcome coming here this afternoon. When we started this program, we started it with a conversation with VC Piguesa and VC Satterland about a problem that they were seeing. And the way that they communicated that problem to us is up on the board here, right? How might we engage all UC San Diego undergraduate students to become empowered and encouraged to participate in paid undergraduate research programs by increasing community awareness, student engagement, and research readiness? This was the problem that they identified, and this is the problem that you helped us address over the course of the past year, right? So the model that we use for this program, we refer to as an innovation funnel, right? And as many of you came to learn, there was 4 components to this. It's a structure for people to learn, work, develop, and present new ideas independent of the subject matter, right? So within our early conversations around this problem, we understood that there was multiple stakeholders in this: undergraduate students, graduate students, staff, administrators, UC San Diego policy, employers, and what we later found out, there were even more than we initially thought there was. So we started with what we call Learn, and that Learn was a 1-hour event introducing people to our design thinking process, an exploration of the problem space so we could share what we had learned, and we wanted to learn what everybody else knew as well. And it was an invitation to stakeholders and interested parties to collaborate with us throughout the rest of the program, which we had gotten a great response to. Right? So the second step was to encourage people to participate in our workshops. How many of you participated in a SPUR workshop? Yes. Thank you so much for your contributions. We had 13 public and private workshops over the course of 2 months. Undergraduate, graduate students, staff, faculty, administrators, and leadership, and representation from key organizational units across the university. Recognizing Academic Affairs, URH, Alumni Career Center, SRS, Library Provost, Residence Life, and Academic Senate. Thank you to all that contributed to our program. Each of you brought something else to our learning. From that data that we got from all of the workshops, we learned that there was 3 areas of focus: awareness, access, and support. So with that, we moved into building teams that would develop these ideas that we had identified. Interdisciplinary teams refine the specific problem statements that we had provided initially to further our understanding, as well as using design methods and tools to better understand problems and potential solutions, right? There was a project plan to provide a deeper understanding of the success and challenges and what a prototype may look like. Now, teams were formed in order to provide not only all of the skills that we needed, but all of the perspectives that we needed as well. Undergraduate students interested in paid research opportunities. How many of you that were paid to work on SPUR are here today? Right. Thank you for your contributions. Staff from stakeholders or interested departments, faculty, administrators, graduate students, and community members. Each team had different members of our community contributing their perspectives, their skill set to help solve their particular problem. Now, each team was provided a SPUR workbook, right, which ended up being a 48-page document that says this is what you do first, this is what you do second. Right? There was a SPUR playbook for junior designers that was a little longer that helped them learn how to coach teams through these processes. There were go, no-go steps to make sure that each of the teams was completing their required work and that we were getting a quality product through our process. Last, there were learning modules that were released upon completion, so we made sure we regulated how much we were asking you to do at any given time. Right? And now as we get to present, there's a synopsis of all of these different projects. We are very excited to get an introduction to your learning and then to further read the stories that you have helped us build about your work over the last 6 months. Your teams have been coached on how to communicate, will present you in your best light, and those stories will help on our feedback and evaluation to each team and determining what comes next. Right? Last, we'll have our evaluation. From all the stories and the data that we get in, there'll be a triangulated assessment by the design lab, by stakeholders, and on and off campus communities of what we each see in these ideas, including our recommendations for next steps. So there'll be an assessment of data recommendations provided to the EDC as well as our VCs. We look forward to your candid and complete feedback for possible implementation in 2024. When we set out to do all this, right, I remember both of our vice chancellors telling us, we want to make change, right? And I said, what kind of change do you want to make? We want to scale. And I said, well, how many do we have? Today, we thought there was maybe 300, 3,000, 30,000, right? So we came at this with the approach and the intent of making change. And with your help, we feel today that we have gotten insights and ideas that can help us make real change here while you are still here on campus. So we'll look forward to your stories, we'll look forward to your evaluations, and learning of what comes next for scaling paid undergraduate research at UC San Diego. And if I can now get some of our junior designers who have been part of our program, if I can ask you to come up here, we're going to do just a couple quick comments about our SPUR program. Again, junior designers, please come on up. Right now, our junior designers are students here at UC San Diego who have committed to at least a year in service of the design lab. Many of them have been leaders on our different projects, right? So if I can first, please give a round of applause for our junior designers. Is to try to provide experiences for you and our students, right? So the junior designers, I think, have a unique perspective. And the first thing that I'd like to know, Jared, when you heard about SPUR, what was your first reaction about SPUR?
Navigating through the undergraduate path is very non-linear. There's so many things that I want to do, but so many things that I should be doing. And when I first heard about SPUR, it kind of made me realize, like, maybe this is something that can give me direction. And I was really excited to kind of contribute moving forward with it, and I'm really excited to see where it will lead us in the future.
Thank you. Here, I got a different one for you. At least, so you coach two different teams, right? What was it like to move from student to consultant in coaching two teams through this process?
It was very different because normally I'm the student working on the project, but this time I had to take a step back and really be the coach and overseer and really help everyone walk through the design thinking process who didn't come from a design thinking background. So that was a really amazing and exciting opportunity for me.
Thank you. Right. So Tommy, I know that you were one of my frequent flyers on those early workshops, and you got to see a lot of those early workshops and some of that early reaction. How would you summarize the reaction for what you saw in your fellow students working on this problem?
Yeah, thanks KP. I think the beginning process is probably my favorite part of the SPUR project because it's real, it's personal, it brings people in from people who've never been affiliated with Design Lab. We brought them in, we showed them that we care about problems personal to them, and having those like one-on-one conversations with the students, understanding the struggles, bring perspective on a bigger table, on a larger scale. It just feels really different from anything that I've done in UCSD, so it's my pleasure to be a part of this.
Thank you so much. If you pass over to Slaya. Slaya, you were able to coach teams as well. What was your perspective moving from student to consultant?
I think it was definitely just like she said, that was like really different how I was kind of like the manager in a way, because I was really there to support them rather than being like interviewing people and going out. So it was just like a different experience.
Sabrina, right, so on your end, what was it like to work, I guess kind of on both sides, right? Because one time you're a consultant and sometimes you're collaborating with your team. Did you ever find it difficult to change up in those roles, or did you see any difference in them?
I found it a bit difficult, I think, just trying to switch between the consultancy and trying to like play an active role in my team. But I also found it was a really great and wonderful experience to really like figure out how to implement the things that I learned through design thinking, and also moving towards a more practical application versus theoretical.
Thank you. And Harris, I'll ask you, your team, arguably had perhaps one of the more complex problems in addressing funding here on campus. Right, what was it like to try to address such a complex project as a student?
So I would say definitely it was really a complex process, but we started off by finding data and collecting data so that we can actually understand the pain points of the stakeholders involved. And once we gathered that data, we started off finding how we can make it better, a better experience for them, and we kind of like move forward towards finding a solution.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's how we kind of proceeded towards it.
Thank you. Thank you all for sharing your perspectives. It's very valuable. We value your contributions here to Design Lab. Thank you so much. All right, now we get to the part where you all came forward. It is time for the presentations. We'd ask Mackenzie to help